Isn't life so amazing? Sometimes it can get crazy, but hey, that's okay. We've got another day to make mistakes and say sorry. There's no sense in our worry, 'cause all we can do is try our best to make it through with
Hello
love.
and welcome to this mini fuck up episode of the Well, I Fucked That Up podcast. My name is Laura Malone, and today I want to talk about discounts. And I am not a fan of discounts. If you're a coach, mentor, or online educator, there is actually no real. I will talk about when I think discounts are appropriate, but there's no main reason to discount. But lots of people do discounts. Do you know, I used to do discounts. I actually used to do like birthday discounts, like, oh yeah, it's my birthday. And when this is released, it's actually my birthday tomorrow, folks, on Tuesday. So feel free to send me a lovely message, but I won't be sending you a discount code because it actually didn't work. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. And lots of people do it because what they want is some instant gratification, some quick sales in their business. And what they believe is a lower price, more people will buy, and particularly if it's a limited time offer for the discount, people will jump in and try and buy it. So I'll get that cash into my business and I'll feel really, really good. And in some respects, yeah, I get it. That works because people do like a bargain. But what I want you to think about is rather than this instant gratification, which comes from panic, it comes from fear, it comes from scarcity, rather than focusing on that, let's think about the long-term abundant growth plan of your business and what long-term impact doing discounts can have. Now, we've all heard of DFS, deals finish Sunday, and I don't want to like name and shame. I hope I don't get into trouble like bringing like naming them. But the fact is, we know that they always have a discount on. They've always got a sale on. So if they suddenly stop doing sales, people are like, "What? That's not the value of the sofa." And that's what we don't want people to think about the services that you offer. So it can be really, really damaging to the value of your brand and the value of what you offer. Next, there's an impact on profitability. So when you created your offer and you chose your price, I hope you were thinking about the profit part of that, profit first. So how much of it is profit? How much of it is your salary? How much of it covers the expenses? And of course, there's tax to think about in there as well. So we need to be thinking about this when we create our prices. So when we discount, all of those percentages, they go down as well. So are expenses still covered? Well, the expenses aren't suddenly discounted because you've decided to discount. Zoom still costs the same every month, Canva, whatever it is that you're using. So they still have to go out. So ultimately, it'll be your salary and your profit that is impacted, which why would we want to do that? That's not really a good thing, is it? That's not going to make you feel good about delivering that service because you're getting less than what you initially wanted. So that's a real important thing to consider, is the impact on your profit when you are discounting your services. And then there's the perceived quality. So it's kind of well thought about that you get what you pay for, right? So it's ultimately deciding where you want to position yourself within the market. And it's totally okay to be at any point. However, the way I see low prices in the coaching, mentoring, and online education space, that's like the fast food of that industry. So it's quick, it's easy, it's sometimes tempting for people if they just want something, a quick fix. But ultimately, is it nutritious? Is it providing a amazing experience that will last for a really long time? all of that kind of thing. And I know the kind of people I work with, they're all about like delivering impact and really driven by the results. I know, like for me as well, it's really, really important that we get those results. And so where do we want to position ourselves, and what quality do we want people to think about with regards to the quality of our services, the expertise that we offer? And I think it's really, really important to sort of just consider that. Like, what is it I want people to think when they see the investment for working with me? Do they want to think, oh, it's such a bargain, I'm in? Or do they want to think, oh, actually, this is a little bit scary, but if you're a coach, sometimes people feeling a bit scared and a bit uncomfortable is kind of where the magic happens. It's really, really part of the process. So think about how you want people to perceive you. And I think, again, that's a really important point about the process. When people are invested financially, they're invested emotionally. And I've had clients join my program in two different camps. This is a few years ago, and I had someone join and they were like, oh, it's that much? Yeah, no worry, that's not very much. They were her exact words. Oh, that's not very much. Yeah, okay, I'll pay in full. And I remember thinking, oh, shouldn't think that's very much. Golly, like a lot of money to me. Wow. Okay, but different financial situations, different money stories. And she paid in full. And then I had another lady who joined the program at exactly the same time, and she was basically shitting herself about it. She was like, I have to do a payment plan. There's no way I can see any other option, and it's scary. So how do we do this? And we talked about it and we made it work. The lady who felt a little bit scared but went all in emotionally with that investment, it really felt like she was investing in a different way than the other lady. She got something completely different out of the program. And not to say the first lady didn't get anything, she was still provided with all the course, she was still provided with all the materials. But I would say, from a sort of outsider's point of view, that she wasn't as invested, and so she didn't engage in the same way. And ultimately, I want to help people completely transform their lives and their businesses and get massive results. So yeah, I want people to feel invested when they work with me, and I imagine you want exactly the same. And I just want to talk a bit about the other aspect of doing discounts. So I mentioned this right at the beginning, but it's basically a scarcity mindset. And when we're in business, we want to have an abundant and growth mindset. So when challenges come up, we can go, how do we deal with this? How can I do things differently? What new opportunities is this giving me to grow, to evolve? Rather than scarcity, which is blocking the money coming in, it's blocking the wealth, it's blocking the success and all the wonderful things that you actually want. And it's just not a great place to be. But what we do, and what the discounts do, is, yeah, you might make some sales. When you whack out a discount, you might get some sales in. However, those people won't be long-term and like invested in the process in the way that they would be if they'd invested the full price. You won't be as fully invested in them because you're not getting the return that you, and being paid the way you deserve to be paid as an expert. And yes, you might get that little hit of dopamine, but it's very fleeting. It doesn't last very long. And that isn't the route to long-term business growth and business success. And what you'll be doing is teaching yourself that people only buy based on price. Whereas actually the price, they might think it's the price, but it's not the price that makes people buy or not buy. It's, do they believe that you can transform their life? And I talked about that on the mini fuck up episode a couple of weeks ago, so check that one out if that's something that comes up for you. So yeah, scarcity mindset, not good. Growth and abundance mindset is where it's at. And I really recommend doing some abundance meditations, really practicing gratitude when you're feeling that moment of scarcity. If you're feeling the temptation to blurt out a discount and go into that panic marketing strategy, go, right, this isn't going to help me long term. I'm going to trust that the universe has my back through this challenge, because businesses do have challenging times. I'm going to trust the universe has my back and reward me for my courage in not slipping into scarcity, and doing some abundance meditations, doing gratitude practices, having affirmations on post-it notes. I've got them right here. Have them around your house to remind you that you're supposed to be rich, that you are a money magnet, that money flows to you easily and effortlessly, and that you deserve to be paid as the expert and service provider that you are. Before I go, though, I do want to talk about a couple of instances when discounting might be appropriate. And it isn't on your birthday, right? So if you run a product style business, and most of my clients are in the online service space, but if you're running a product business where you might have a certain amount of a line that is now sort of dead stock, for example, or needs to be shifted, then you don't want that, basically that money just sort of sat in the corner of your living room. So yeah, you might then offer a discount on something in order to shift that stock. That's a very different energy, rather than I need to generate some cash into my business. I need to make space for this new exciting thing. So different energy behind that. And I can't remember the exact thing. I've heard about this somewhere, where there's some websites that have, you know, their like clearance section, but they call it something else. They call it like last chance to get. And yes, they are discounted prices because they're clearing their stock, but they're not calling it a sale. They're not calling it clearance, you know, that discount, that kind of thing. So yeah, not my area of expertise, product-based businesses, but that it would be a good reason if that's the kind of business you're running. You may also offer a lower price if you're running something for the first time. So if you're doing what is often called a beta version or a case study. Now, what I tend to say in these and recommend my clients say is, if you're doing a case study version, have the price for the case study version. It still has to be a price that feels really, really good, not a price that's 50% off what you really want it to be. It's a price that feels really, really good, that again will have those things that shows the quality, shows the nutritional value of what you offer, and is an investment for people, so they are invested in the process. So choose a price that fulfills that, but also reflects that this is brand new, and therefore there might be some tweaks that need to be made, that you would like some feedback on that, and they are part of that first time version. Because once you have those amazing results for people, the price will increase. So it's not going to, oh, now this is the price it was always supposed to be, because you haven't got those results yet. When you go, right, now this is an absolutely proven method, I've taken people from A to B and look at them absolutely thriving, of course there's higher value in that, because there's going to be more demand, because all the people who weren't ready to take a risk on it, they'll go, okay, now I know it works. It worked for that person. It's going to work for me. Off I go. So I wouldn't really call that a discount. Again, there's a very different energy behind that. It's going, look, let's be honest, let's be transparent. This is the first time I've done this version of this method. So if you're up for joining me, you know, now's a really great time, because the value and the investment is the lowest it is ever going to be. Because once you've done it and I've got you the results that I know I'm going to get for you, the price and the investment will increase. So there's another reason. And then the last sort of time that I would say a discount is more appropriate, and I know there's a lot of conversations around this one, is around payment plans and pay in full. Now, I am no legal expert. I would never say I am, obviously. But what I would say is that I'm aware that in the UK, you cannot charge people more for a payment plan, but you can offer a pay in full discount or bonus. And like the wording of that, the way you communicate that, it is really, really important. But it's also, and other countries might have their own rules, right? So don't take this as any kind of legal advice, but do take my advice in that you can have different prices here. So it is okay to offer a pay in full discount because actually there's no extra admin involved when someone pays you in full and upfront. So when someone is paying through a payment plan option, there is admin and more risk, and that takes up energy, it can take up time, and so being sure where you feel and the way you work out what your discount is going to be, totally up to you. I tend to go with around 10% if people want to choose to pay in full, and then offer a payment plan that offers a flexible option for people depending on where they're at. So they're my sort of 3 it's okay to discount places. So getting rid of dead stock, which doesn't apply to coaches, online mentors, educators, that kind of thing. It's if you're doing a new case study of something, you might sort of make a point of this is the lowest investment it's ever going to be, and then if you are offering a pay in full option, a percentage or a certain amount of discount involved with that. So there we go. That's my thoughts on discounting. I would love to know your thoughts on discounting. So feel free to jump over to say hi to me on Instagram. It's at lauren.malone.coaching. But also, like, what was I going to say there? So yeah, tell me your thoughts on discounting, but I'd also really like you to consider your relationship with discounting and the potential patterns of behavior that you've noticed in your business. Do you feel like you drip into this, fall into this place of scarcity where panic marketing, you know, whether that's a discount or, oh, I've got to put out a new offer, things like that, that place of panic, that place of fear. If you feel like you're doing that and it's becoming a pattern of behavior, then I really want to have a conversation with you and reach out to me and just send me a DM on Instagram with the word discount, and let's have a conversation about how discounts are showing up for you, how they might be damaging your business, and how you can pull away from that model so you can ultimately create long-term abundant wealth success for yourself and your business. And that's all I've got to say on the matter of discounts for today. I'm sure I will talk about it again. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been the Well I Fucked That Up podcast, and I will talk to you again.
Isn't life so amazing? Sometimes it can get crazy, but hey, that's okay. We've got another day to make mistakes and say sorry. There's no sense in our worry, 'cause all we can do is try our best to make it through with love.